Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We cover everything Major League, from spring training to the World Series. We've got your favorite club covered, from New York to Boston to LA. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
What is up? Welcome into the GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Monday today here. We just came off of a very packed weekend in baseball. Some great series. We had Cubs and Cardinals from St. Louis, Dodgers, Giants in LA. With the Nationals get swept in Toronto, actually, by the Blue Jays. The Nationals just can't get out of the way. Bryce Harper's hitting a 217. Yeah, he's got all the home runs, but he's not getting hitting for that average that we all thought he would eventually. Obviously, he's always had the power, but hasn't quite got the average where we want to be at. Where he's obviously the MVP, or he was up there on average. But whether it's the walks he's taken or not getting enough good pitches to hitting into a shift a lot, so I mean it's an issue he's had to deal with for quite some time. So we're going to pick it up right where we left off on Friday with some games from Friday, recapping the weekend in baseball. As we'll start off in LA. Giants and Dodgers actually had the weekend. Giants dropped 2 out of 3 over the weekend. Dodgers got the first 2 games. The first one was on Friday. It's a 3-2 win for the Dodgers, as they got a good pitching performance from Ross Stripling, as he went 6 1/3 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. That 2 runs both scored on a Pablo Sandoval 2-run homer. The only blemish on the record there for Stripling. As far as the Dodgers, they had home runs from Kike Hernandez, his 9th, and Matt Kemp, his 11th. As Matt Kemp has come back with a vengeance and has been on this Dodgers team where he thought he wasn't getting. I mean, nobody thought he was going to play. He realized he's just kind of like a part of the deal that was able to change hands between him and the Braves, but I mean the Dodgers and the Braves, and he was going to get cut. But now he's playing left, and Jock Peterson. You're basically wins above replacement kind of thing, or better than your backup. And Jock Peterson is getting kind of put by the wayside because Kemp is hitting, and you see it's the Dodgers defense always mixes matches. I think one game Cody Bellinger was playing first base, and Kike Hernandez was playing center field, and they flip flop and put Bellinger in center and Kike at shortstop, because they have to be trying to figure out who's going to hold down that shortstop position with no Corey Seager. That's going to be a test for Dave Roberts the whole season. But Dodgers get the win 3-2 on Friday. As we go on to the next game, the Reds and Pirates from Pittsburgh. Pirates beat the Reds 3-2 in this one behind Chad Kuhl, who gets the win, his 5th of the season over Matt Harvey. Still can't quite find it there in Cincinnati, even after the trade, as Kuhl goes 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run, 2 total on 6 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for Kuhl. No homers in this game. The Pirates got 2 in the bottom of the 6th innings to take that lead, and they did not give it up. Bullpen was good. Marlins shut out the Orioles. Jose Urena gets just his 2nd win of the season, as he was excellent in this one. For Miami, he went 8 innings, allowed no runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Excellent pitching, and then Barraclough got the save at the end. Marlins just a couple of runs, 2, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th was enough to get the win. Yankees behind the rookie starter gets the win 5-0. Loaisaga, the starter, or Loaisaga, as Loaisiga. 5 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, as he gets his first win in his first start in the pinstripes there for the Yankees. Home runs. Didi Gregorius hit his 14th of the season. In Toronto, game 1 of that series against the Blue Jays and Nationals, where the Nationals got swept, actually. The Blue Jays get this one 6-5, as they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to break that 3-3 tie. Home runs in this one. Travis hit his 3rd, and Youngrius Solarte hit 2 in this one, 13th and 14th of the year for him, as they backed up a pretty good start from Aaron Sanchez, but it's actually the bullpen who's able to get that one all tidied up for him in that one. The Twins beat the Indians 6-3 in in Cleveland, actually, Kyle Gibson beats Corey Kluber. Kluber just his third loss on the season. He's 10-3 now after the loss, even with that 2.24 ERA. But the Twins, actually the Twins got 3 runs on him early. They were up early, actually 6-0 before the Cleveland Indians scored a couple of runs. But that was it. The Twins scored early and often off of the Indian starter, as Kluber allowed 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Those the home runs that did him in. As Eddie Rosario hit his 15th off Kluber, and then Brian Dozier is 10th, also off Kluber, a 2-run shot for Dozier. That was the big hit. Those are the big hits that got him. For the Indians, they got a home run from Yan Gomes, his 9th of the season in the loss. To Atlanta, the Braves got game 1 of their series against the Braves 9-3. In this one, they scored 5 runs in the 7th inning to take the lead. They would add 2 more in the 9th to really extend that one and put the nail in the coffin there, as they got some good offense in this game. Home runs from Pereira, his 1st, and Freddie Galvis, his 4th of the season for the Braves. A home run from Freddie Freeman, his 15th, as he continues to put together a great season there in Atlanta. The Rockies beat the Rangers 9-5 in this one, as they got 6 runs in the 2nd inning. Rangers actually scored 5 in the bottom of the 1st off Chad Bettis, but he really righted the ship after that. He did not allow run after the 1st inning. Did go 5 2/3 innings, allowed 5 on 6 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed. It was a home run by Jurickson Profar, a 2-run shot, and Joey Gallo, also a 2-run shot in the 1st inning that really set the tone for the Rangers, but that was all they were able to do. The Rockies came back, scored 6 in the 2nd inning after that 5 spot that got Chad Bettis back on the winning side, and he kept it going there for Colorado. They got home runs from Ian Desmond, 2 of them from Ian Desmond, his 13th and 14th. Nolan Arenado hit his 13th of the season as well. All right. In Chicago, the Tigers beat the White Sox 4-3. I think Farmer gets the win there for Detroit over Ronaldo Lopez. Farmer, he went, or actually Mike Fiers got the start there, but it was in relief. They were able to get Farmer back up into that bullpen there to get some innings, as he's now 2-3 on the season. Home runs, Hicks hit his 6 for the Tigers. For the White Sox, Navarez hit his 1st of the season. In Milwaukee, the Brewers beat the Phillies 13-2. They got beat up pretty good, as the Brewers scored early and often in this one on jumping on Jake Arrieta, as he did not have his top stuff. As the Brewers Suter, though, for the Brewers, that young left-hander I was talking about, he continues to pitch well. Brent Suter goes 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, as he was getting the ball in play put in well. Christian Yelich hit his 9th home run, Perez his 4th, and Aguilar his 12th of the season, as the Brewers did it with the long ball there at home. Odubel Herrera hit his 8th of the season for the Phillies, as that was really the only blemish there for the Milwaukee pitching staff. Cubs beat the Cardinals big, 13-5 in St. Louis in Game 1 of that big series. They beat up on Michael Wacha. John Lester was pretty good as well, as Wacha allowed 8 earned runs and threw 4 innings of pitch, 3 homers allowed, as the Cubs got homers from Ian Happ, his 9th, Chris Bryant, his 9th, and Kyle Schwarber, his 12th of the season. Cardinals also hit the long ball in this one in the loss. Marcell Ozuna hit his 9th, Matt Carpenter his 9th, and Tommy Pham his 10th of the season in the loss, as, like I said, Wacha gave up all those runs. Lester was okay. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, gave up those 2 homers in that one, but got the win, his 8th of the season. Astros beat the Royals 7-3 in Kansas City. Charlie Morton, his 8th win of the season, as they cruise by Kansas City there. They got a home run. They got a home run from Bregman, his 9th, Carlos Correa, his 12th, and Evan Gattis, his 14th of the season for the Astros. A's dropped this one at home to the Angels. 8-4 was the final, as the Angels get a much-needed win. They stay over 500, but they're still battling with that Mariners and Astros. They got to keep pace there, as the Angels got a home run from Ian Kinsler, his 9th of the season there. Tyler Skaggs gets the win. He went 7 innings, allowed no earns, 2 runs, both of them unearned on 7 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts for Skaggs, as he pitched very nicely in this one against the A's. Mets dropped the opener against the Diamondbacks in the desert 7-3 D-backs get the win. Zach Godley, his 7th win on the season, he was pretty good for Arizona. Went 6 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Just the 1 home run given up to Smith, the young guy for the Mets. There came in and hit a home run. That was let's get a name on here. Dominic Smith came up and hit a home run, his first of the year for the Mets. But they take the loss. For the Diamondbacks, home runs by Paul Goldschmidt, his 14th. Daniel Descalso, his 8th of the year. Mariners beat the Red Sox 6-3 as they scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead there as they stunned them. Like I said, they scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead there. It was a double by Denard Span, just got traded over from the Rays after he was traded from the Giants in the offseason for Evan Longoria, but now he's on the Mariners over there in the Pacific Northwest, and he docked in 2 with a double in the bottom of the 8th to win that game for Seattle. Home runs in this one, Gene Segura hit his 6th of the year, Mike Zunino his 11th for the Mariners, Xander Bogaerts hit his 11th for Boston as they got that one stolen from them late. All right, on Saturday, we'll go over the first few games here before we go to the next segment. Dodgers beat the Giants 3-1 behind a nice performance from Alex Wood as he was struggling in his last few starts, righted the ship in this one against San Francisco as he gets the win. He went 5 2/3 innings, allowed one run on 4 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. As he beat Madison Bumgarner, who went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 homers allowed. 1-2 Matt Kemp, his 12th, and Kike Hernandez, the big blow, his 2-run shot, his 10th of the season, as that was the deciding factor in that game. Yankees beat the Rays 4-1 behind a nice pitching performance from Luis Severino as he gets his 10th win on the season. He's 10-2 now with a nice 2.09 ERA as he beats the Rays. He goes 8 innings of shutout ball, 3 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts for Severino. The Yankees got a home run from Giancarlo Stanton, his 16th of the year, and Gary Sanchez hit his 13th of the season in this one. The Rays, I don't think they got a home run in this one. Matt Duffy was the home run. The lone run for the Rays was a Matt Duffy solo shot, his 4th of the year. Tigers beat the White Sox 7-5 as they get another win for Farmer in relief as they got 2 runs in the top of the 8th inning to take the lead in this one. They had they got to beat up on the White Sox if they're going to even have a think about trying to get up in that American League wildcard talk at all. But the White Sox did not get a home run, but the home runs for Tigers, Nick Castellanos hit 2, his 7th and 8th, as they got a decent performance from Jordan Zimmerman. He went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs on 4 hits, 4 strikeouts for him. But that was in the no decision. Lucas Giolito also a no decision. Like I said, that game was decided late. Astros beat the Royals again easily, 10-2. Dallas Keuchel gets his 4th win on the season now as he gets his ERA down a little bit. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs, both unearned, on 6 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for Keuchel. Gets that ERA down to 4.15 with no earned runs. That's pretty good through 6. As the Astros again brought the bats to Kansas City. Nick Stassi, his 7th of the season. Alex Bregman, his 10th. That's Max Stassi. Max Stassi hit his 7th of the year. Alex Bregman, his 10th of the season. They backed up Keuchel to get him the win. Pirates beat the Reds 6-2. Ivan Nova, his 5th win of the season, beating Luis Castillo. It was single runs throughout the first 4 innings before the Pirates got 3 in the bottom of the 6th to extend that lead out and really put that game away. As they got home runs from Morin, his 6th, and Diaz, his 5th, and Josh Harrison, his 4th, as they brought the long ball out at their home park there at PNC, got the win. Eugenio Suarez got his 13th of the season, and Dixon his 1st of the year. That was in the 9th inning. The young outfielder there for the Reds got the home run. In Texas, the Rangers beat the Rockies 5-2, surprising the Rangers. They kind of stunned them. They scored 2 in the 7th and to tie, and 3 in the 8th to win on a that was a Adrian Beltre triple to score 2 to make it 4-2. He got knocked in. They were able to score another run on a sacrifice fly, but that Rockies bullpen continues to struggle. No homers for the Rangers in this one. The Rockies also were held homerless as Kyle Freeland, in a no decision, pitched very nicely. Went 7 innings, allowed 2 runs on 8 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. I mean, the game was tied after he gave up those 2 runs in the 7th inning. And the bullpen was not able to keep it tied. The Rangers get the win there at home. The A's beat the Angels 6-4. After they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to take the lead there. After the Angels took the lead from them, the Angels scored 4 in the 6th to get that lead. They would not give it up. They got a nice pitching performance from Sean Manaea. He went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Just gave up 1 home run to Chris Young, his 4th, a 3-run shot though. But they were able to get that lead back. Pinder hit his 6th home run of the year. Marcus Semien also hitting his 6th home run of the season. Marlins beat the Orioles 5-4 in Baltimore as Wei-Yin Chen gets the win over Alex Cobb, a pair of troubled teams right now. Marlins actually playing pretty good ball. They play hard, but they get the win over the Orioles on the road. Home runs in this game. Jonathan Scope hit his 7th of the season, and JT Realmuto hit his 8th and his 9th, both off of Alex Cobb, who has really struggled in Baltimore. All right, I'll take the break right here, and we'll come back and finish off the games for the weekend before we get into some talk on the NL West, some Phillies talk, Indians, talking about some teams battling up on top of their divisions, as well as the Wild West out there, and we'll do that throughout the show, and we'll do the rest of the games when we come back. Stay tuned.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast. We are going over the games from the past weekend. That Blue Jays and National Series was interesting, as we'll pick it up right here. The 2-0 win on Saturday for the Blue Jays, as they had Marco Estrada going for them against Max Scherzer, actually. And Scherzer gets another loss. Only his third loss of the season, as he went 6 innings, led 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts for Scherzer, but he gets outdueled by Estrada, who went 6 2/3 innings, led no runs on 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. I mean, you got to get pitch. If you're a good pitcher, you got to get some run support. I mean, two runs through 6 innings pitch is not terrible, and that's you get hit with a loss, a tough luck loss right there for Scherzer. The home run he gave up was the only blemish, as it was Travis who got the home run for his 4th of the season, 2-run shot. That's all the Blue Jays would need in this one, as Devin Travis made that one a 2-0 game, and that was the final. Twins beat the Indians 9-3 behind a nice pitching performance from McGill, a young arm there for the Indians, as they had to take out Carlos Carrasco. The Indians had to take out Carlos Carrasco. The Twins got the win, though, as McGill comes in and gets the win for the Indians. Carlos Carrasco got knocked out early. Romero went 4 innings, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 2 home runs allowed, and then the bullpen was able to take over for the Twins and get the win there. Home runs for the Twins: Eder Rosario, his 16th. Indians, it was a Francisco Lindor home run, his 16th, and Jose Ramirez, his 21st of the season for him. Those were both in the first inning off Romero. Carrasco came out due to injury, only went an inning and a third to give up 4 runs in that time before the bullpen came in, but could not stop the bleeding. Twins get the win in Cleveland again. Phillies beat the Brewers in Milwaukee 4-1 behind a nice pitching performance, as they had. This series for them is a big deal. Obviously, Zach Eflin getting in there and pitching nicely is also a big deal. Give up that 1 run in the first inning, but then really settled down and got the win there for the Phillies. As Eflin went 5 innings, allowed 1 run on 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. As the bullpen then took care of it, did not yield another run. Home runs for the Phillies: Rhys Hoskins, his 9th, and then Knapp, a young player came up and hit his first home run of the year for Philadelphia. The only run scored for the Brewers was on a Travis Shaw single, and that was the only run they would see in that game. Braves beat the Padres 1-0 behind a great pitching performance from the rookie Sean Newcomb. Remember, this kid's only pretty young too. I mean, they got Soroka over there too, who's only 20. They got Newcomb as well, who's not. I mean, this kid was born in 1993. So yeah, what's he? 24 years old, 25 years old. So still another young arm. He went 6 innings, allowed no runs on 2 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, pitched excellent. Charlie Culberson got his third home run of the year. That was the only run in this game as the Braves got the win there. 1-0. Padres had Jordan Lyles on the mound, and he was excellent as well. Went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 5 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Just that home run. You think you only give up 1 run, you're going to be able to come away with the win, but tough sledding here as the Braves had the better pitcher just a little bit. Another 1-1 win, 1-0 win for the Mariners as they shut out the Red Sox. Actually, a rare shutout for the Red Sox as they had Wade LeBlanc go, and he went 7 2/3 innings, really stymied that Red Sox lineup. Only allowed 2 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts. He just pounded the strike zone. No homers in this game, but the only run scored on a Nelson Cruz single. For the Red Sox, they had the knuckleballer Stephen Wright going for them, as he was also pretty good, pretty unhittable as well, as he went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts for Wright, but he gets the loss, tough luck loss in this one, only allowing the 1 run. Cardinals dropped the one at home to the Cubs 6-3, as Kyle Hendricks gets his 5th win of the season. After giving up 2 runs in the first inning, he settled down and ended up allowing 3 runs on over 6 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts for him to give up a home run. That was to Marcelo Ozuna, his 10th of the year. So Ozuna, I told you, watch out for the Cardinals, watch out for Marcelo Ozuna, as he's heating up. 7 home runs in his last 13 games. He hit his 10th of the season for the Cardinals. Cubs got a home run from Addison Russell, his 3rd, and Jason Hayward, his 4th, as they get the win there. Breaking the tie in the 7th inning and getting 2 more in the 8th to get the win in St. Louis. And the Mets beat the D-backs 5-1 behind a nice pitching performance from Steven Matz. The Mets got to Patrick Corbin early in this one, scoring 3 in the 2nd inning, as Corbin allowed 5 runs on 8 hits through 6 innings pitched, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts to give up a home run. In this one, that was to Michael Conforto, his 9th of the season, 3-run shot for them. The Diamondbacks did not get a home run, as they only scored that 1 run off of Matz, who was excellent. He went 6 2/3 innings, allowed that 1 run on 6 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for Steven Matz. All right, and then quickly over to Sunday. In the second segment, as we roll on by through the weekend here, Giants salvaged that series in LA, getting a win 4-1 behind a nice pitching performance from Chris Stratton. Just gave up that 1 run in the first inning, and that was all he would allow. I think it was even an unearned run as well, as he was excellent. 6 innings pitched, no runs, just that 1 unearned run, 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for Chris Stratton, his 8th win on the season for the Giants, as he beat Ferguson, that spot starter who came in. I think this was his 2nd start of the season, or 3rd start of the season. Caleb Ferguson, pitching for the Dodgers. He was actually pretty good too. Just those 2 home runs. He only gave up 3 hits, or 2 hits, and both of them went over the wall. That was the problem. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. The home runs for the Giants: Nick Hundley hit his 8th of the season. Brandon Belt his 12th. And the Giants get the win there, 4-1. Orioles beat up on the Marlins 10-4, as they scored 2 runs in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings against the Marlins. Trevor Richards, Dylan Bundy gets his 5th win of the season, as he was pretty good in this one for Baltimore. Went 6 innings, allowed 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. 2 home runs allowed. Man, look at that. You give up 4 runs and you get the win. That's baseball for you, against those, compared to the other guys who got losses after pitching 7 innings of 1-run ball. Run support. Some of the times, those home runs for the Orioles: Peterson hit his 1st of the year, Mark Trumbo his 4th of the season. For the Marlins, they got 2 home runs from Justin Bour in the loss, his 11th and 12th of the season. Nationals could not get a win in Toronto as the Blue Jays score 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning after dropping. They were losing. There was actually tied up. The Nationals tied it up in the top of the 8th to make it 6-6. And then the Toronto Blue Jays, as this was a back and forth affair, lots of scoring throughout this game, as the Blue Jays got 2 in the bottom of the 8th to get the win there for them at home, as they got a home run from Toscar Hernandez and then Grievous Solarte off of Ryan Madsen, with that game tied in the 8th inning. The starters in this one were kind of forgotten, as Lucas Glavigilo for the Blue Jays went. Is that right? Sam Gavigilo for the Blue Jays went only 4 innings, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 3 total runs, 2 earned. And Tanner Roark only went 4 innings as well, allowed 4 runs on 8 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, a home run. In this one for the Blue Jays, the home runs, Randall Grichuk hit 2, his 6th and 7th home runs. Randall Grichuk hit his 6th and 7th of the year. Hernandez his 12th, and Solarte his 15th for Toronto, as they get the sweep of the Nationals at home. Twins couldn't do the sweep of the Indians. The Indians get the win 4-1 as Shane Bieber comes up and gets a win, his first of the season for Cleveland. He went 5 2/3 innings, allowed 1 run on 10 hits, scattered 10 hits around, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts for him as he gets his first win of the season. Twins couldn't really muster much. Jake Odorizzi was okay, but did take the loss. Went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs on 6 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Reds beat the Reds beat the Pirates in Pittsburgh 8-6. Anthony DeSclafani gets the win in this one as they beat Joe Musgrove. Home runs in this game. Moran hit his 7th, Polanco his 8th of the season for the Pirates. For the Reds, Suarez his 14th, and Scott Schebler his 9th. Braves beat the Padres 4-1. Julio Teheran was excellent in this one as he gets his 5th win of the season. He went 6 shutout innings, no-hit innings actually, through 3 walks, 11 strikeouts, and he was a pitch count that cost him a chance to keep going in that game with the no-hitter going. It was 95 pitches. They didn't want to extend him too far as the bullpen took over. Trevor Flowers hit his 4th of the season, his 4th home run of the season, as he came in reserve actually did not start. Tyler Flowers for Kurt Suzuki got 2 hits actually off the bench for the Braves. No home runs for the Padres in this one. Rays get a win in New York as they avoid the sweep. CC Sabathia takes the loss as he was marked for 3 runs in the 2nd inning, as that's all the Rays would need, as they got a good start from Wilmer Font. Actually went 4 2/3 innings, led 1 run on 4 hits. That's the reliever, remember? That's a reliever, as they've been basically all relief pitchers in this one. Wilmer Font goes 4 2/3 innings, lets that 1 run on 4 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. The 1 run was a home run by Aaron Hicks, his 8th of the season for the Yankees, as they do drop this one. Do not get the sweep of the Rays, but they will go in and take 2 out of 3. I mean, you got to take 2 out of 3 from everybody is okay. Tigers beat the White Sox 3-1. Blaine Hardy gets the win, his 3rd of the season over James Shields. He takes the loss. He's now 2-8 on the season. James Shields still just kind of treading water there in Chicago. I guess he just likes living in Chicago. Can't blame him. Hardy went 5 1/3 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts for him, just the home run to Matt Davidson. His 12th of the season was the blemish on his record. Nick Castellanos hit his 9th of the year 2-run shot off of Shields that would deem the winning blow for the Tigers earlier in that game. Phillies beat the Brewers 10-9 in a wild finish in this one in Milwaukee. The Phillies got 2 runs in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th. So they beat up on the Milwaukee bullpen. The Brewers tried to come back in this one. They were down 10-6. I'll make that 10-5 in the bottom of the 9th inning. They scored 4 times, but could not get that tying run across as the Phillies were able to get the last out in this one. Home runs in this game. Eric Thames hit 2, his 8th and 9th. Aguilar, his 13th of the season for the Brewers. Rhys Hoskins, his 10th for the Phillies. Michael Franco, his 9th. And Odubel Herrera, his 9th as well. His balls are flying out at Miller Park there in Milwaukee. A 10-9 win for the Brewers. Astros beat the Royals 7-4 in Kansas City to complete the sweep. In this one, Sipp gets the win. Tony Sipp gets the win there for the Astros in relief, as Lance McCullers Jr. went 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, 4 total on 6 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts to give up a home run to Hunter Dozier, the rookie, his 3rd of the season. The Astros got a homer from Carlos Correa, his 13th of the season, as they extended their lead a little bit. Actually, they took the lead in the top of the 8th inning. They were down 4-3 much of this game, scored 3 in the 8th inning, and then 1 in the 9th to extend that off to get the win there. And then talk about drama. There's a few games here that were full of drama here at the end. The Rangers score 4 times in the bottom of the 9th inning to win at home, actually, against the Rockies. The Rockies are up 12-9 in this game, and the Rangers scored 4 times in the bottom of the 9th inning. Wade Davis walked in 2 runs, and then a 2-run single by the rookie, actually. The rookie catcher had to come up, and Trevino came up and caught because Robinson Chirinos got suspended for being in that fight with Matt Kemp earlier in the week. And then their backup catcher, Perez, got hurt because of a slide into home plate. So Trevino, as in the major leagues, is now their backup catcher. Chirinos is back, but Trevino had to come in a pinch hit role, or in a defensive replacement role, got a chance to hit and knocked in 2 runs to win the game for the Rangers in this one as they beat the Rockies in this one. Okay, I'm at the end of the segment already here as we're really going through these games. I'll come back and do the rest of them on the back end really quick. Hold on.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back. Quickly going to finish up these games from Sunday. There was some really exciting baseball yesterday on a Sunday. Then might not do as much a preview for the week as much as we do, because we still want to do some talk on the NL West, the Phillies, the Indians, all the good stuff in just a moment. But yeah, that Angels game and A's was also a pretty wild start. It did take extra innings to decide this one, but the A's were down 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they were able to tie the game in that bottom of the 9th inning on a home run by Marcus Semien made it 5-4, and then a Mark Canha single made it 5-5 in the bottom of the 9th. The Angels were able to get out of the inning with the game tied, but then in the bottom of the 11th inning, Jonathan Lucroy hit a deep fly ball with the bases loaded to not get a run, and that would be that in Oakland as Blake Trinan gets the win for the A's in relief. Daniel Megden was pretty good. He went 5 2/3 innings, allowed 4 runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, gave up a couple home runs. Not that good. The A's got home runs from Mark Canha, like I said, to make that. That was a 2-run shot for him, his 8th, and then Marcus Semien, that was to get them closer in the 9th inning. A solo shot, his 7th of the season for the A's, as the Angels find ways to lose. They got a home run from Chris Young, his 5th, and Albert Pujols, his 11th of the season there. Red Sox and Mariners, not as exciting as this next game we're going to get to in a second, but the Red Sox got the win in Seattle 9-3. They scored 5 runs in the third inning against Mike Leake to really set the tone in this one. home runs for the Red Sox. Rafael Devers hit his 11th, a big, long home run. Jackie Bradley Jr. his 4th, and Xander Bogaerts his 12th of the season for Boston. Nelson Cruz hit a mammoth home run for his 17th of the season in the loss for the Mariners. Eduardo Rodriguez got the win for the Red Sox. He's 9-1 on the season now. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, just that 1 home run allowed to Cruz. And the big game, not the big game, but one of the bigger comebacks of this season, the New York Mets, with 2 outs in the 9th inning, score 4 times to take the lead against the Diamondbacks. I'm pretty sure it was still 2 outs when Jose Bautista, 2 outs and 2 strikes, I'm pretty sure, when Jose Bautista hit a double to knock in Jose Reyes, actually, to make it 3-2. Then Brandon Nimmo hit a 2-run homer to make it 4-3, and Asdrubal Cabrera added a home run to make it 5-3. This is all in Arizona, so in front of those fans there at home, the Diamondbacks blow a lead and end up losing to the Mets 5-3. A big home run there by Brandon Nimmo, as he's been really the only exciting part of that team for the Mets now that Cespedes has still been on the shelf. And then in St. Louis, the Cardinals got a shutout win over the Cubs as they scored 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 2 in the 8th. It was a nothing game as Jack Flaherty pitched well, got a no decision because no runs were scored yet. As he went 5 shutout innings, allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. As the bullpen was also very good in this one. Jose Quintana started for the Cubs. He went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for him. Home runs for the Cardinals. Matt Carpenter, his 10th of the season for St. Louis. All right, that'll wrap it up for that long overview of it. A big packed weekend. I wanted to give every game its due because there was a lot of good ones out there, a lot of great pitching performances, a lot of great comebacks, a lot of great clutch hitting in this weekend of baseball. And we got to see it firsthand here as we're ready for more. Obviously, that's the thing about baseball. It's every day. We got more games to talk about coming up today and tomorrow as well. We'll do that in the next segment, but I do want to talk about a little bit here. The NL West is still getting kind of funky. Obviously, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies had a kind of a weird little weekend. Diamondbacks losing 2 in a row. Actually, the Giants were the only team to actually get a win yesterday in the National League West as they picked up a game on everybody. And in front of them, Dodgers are now 37-33. They're only a game and a half back of the Diamondbacks. We all thought, where'd the Dodgers go? But they're right there. They've hit 34 home runs, I think, in this month, which is by far the most in all of baseball, as they've really used a long ball to get them back where they want to be with now, 4 games over 500, winning 7 of the last 10. And this is without Kershaw. This is without a lot of their rotation being in and out of the off and on the DL, having to use spot starters here and there with young pitchers, but they've been able to do it. They get production from Kike Hernandez, they get production from Chris Taylor. They're going to be fine because all those other guys are going to hit. They got obviously Justin Turner's back and such, and they can win the close games too. Their bullpen have gotten themselves figured out as well. As far as the other NL West teams, the Giants, Madison Bumgarner's got 3 starts. They're 0-3. So I mean, if they were 3-0, they'd be 38-34, not 35-37. So I think that Mad Bum has got to get that figured out. I mean, did get kind of roughed up a little bit in Miami, then give up a couple home runs in LA's last start. So if he can get that figured out, get some run support as well. But we talked about run support. You can have as great a start as you want. If you can give only give up the 1 run, but if the other pitcher is really good or your hitters aren't hitting, you're going to have a tough time. We'll see. We've seen that a lot throughout the league. Rockies, their bullpen. I mean, both the Rockies and the Diamondbacks bullpen has been heavily invested in, but is not doing too hot. Obviously, the Diamondbacks are doing a little better. Rockies have lost 8 of their last 10. They've really dove deep into that into the well there. But still, not only 5 games back. Nobody's really pulling away from anybody. They're out west, but the bullpen's got to figure that out, whether it's Shaw needs to get reassigned to a different role in the inning. Wade Davis couldn't find the strike zone yesterday in Texas. I mean, he's been up and down all season. And then same thing in Arizona. Boxberger, who can be great. The guy, he's gotten saves on the season. We've seen him do well. But when he doesn't do well, it goes downhill really fast. And I mean, in that stadium, you can't make any mistakes. I mean, you saw, if you go look at that Brandon Nimmo home run yesterday, that ball was crushed. It was an absolute bomb, no doubt home run in a game where you're up by 1 run and you're only an out away from getting a win. So you got to be able to be more sharp than that and not give up those home runs. I mean, it's baseball. These are professionals. I mean, even the Mets have really fallen off. They're now 30 and 38. But I mean, there's teams. I mean, the Giants just played the Marlins last week and dropped 3 out of 4. I mean, I'm saying the Giants are the best team in the league. The Diamondbacks are in first place in their division. They got to be careful because they got two good teams. I think the Giants they can turn their stuff around. Dodgers are hot on their heels as well. So they got to keep it going there out west. It'll be interesting to watch. That is probably the most wide open division with 4 teams really vying for a spot on top there in the NL West. As far as the Phillies, they had a nice little series in Milwaukee against a tough Brewers team, winning the last two games of that series. Saturday and Sunday was clutch for them as they were able to get some ground necessary on the Nationals, who'd lost 3. As the Phillies had kind of fallen off a little bit as they got behind the Nationals, which is going to be tough to get to leapfrog, I guess, what you could say, because the Braves aren't really going away. The Braves, we talked about them a lot. They're pitching. The young pitchers are pitching. The young hitters are hitting. Their 2 veterans, Markakis and Freeman, are having all-star caliber seasons. So they're getting production all throughout their lineup, and their bullpen is pretty good too. So, I mean, when you got 2 young pitchers, multiple young pitchers, I think the elder statesman is Tehran and Brandon McCarthy, because they still have Fulton, which has been in the league for a while, but he's still pretty young. Soroka, and then Newcomb as well. So, I mean, they got good matches of lefties. They got a few righties in there. So their rotation's really hitting on all cylinders right now. You cannot knock the Braves at all. The Phillies definitely have to keep playing well, keep getting there. And you can't afford to have Jake Arrieta get roughed up. Obviously, Zach Eflin, if he can keep pitching well, that'd be nice. Obviously, you got the young ace and Aaron Nola. Vince Velasquez, if he can get that curveball location good and the fastball swing and miss stuff, he's fine as well, but he can be a little hittable. The bats, I don't think are going to be a problem for the Phillies. They had too many good hitters. I mean, Odubel Herrera might have the weirdest stance in the league, but he can hit ball as far as anybody. I mean, you got to love what they're doing there with that whole lineup. Reese Hoskins starting to heat up a little bit. He had a tough start to his season as he's starting to start. I mean, obviously, Major League Baseball learns your swing. When you have, how many home runs? Did he have 18 home runs, 20 home runs in 60 games last season that he came in? He was third in the NL Rookie of the Year voting, and he started the league. He came into the league in the middle of June or July or something like that. So, I mean, he came in and was on fire. This is the guy, local kid. Well, he's not local. He's local for me because being here. He's from Sacramento, went to Jesuit High School, went to Sac State. So, I even think I may have played against him, or he was I don't know, if you look up a year he graduated high school, because my high school played Jesuit. But yeah, this kid he's finally starting to figure out the adjustments that they're making to him, and he can make adjustments back to them, the pitching, and start hitting the ball out of the ballpark yet again, as he's now gotten 10 home runs in the season. I think he hit 2 home runs in that or maybe even 3 home runs in that series against the Brewers. I mean, that's a great place to hit. Miller Park's a great place to hit. That's why I think the Brewers are going to be fine too, because I mean, they do have some tough games. Obviously, when you play the Cubs and Cardinals, you're going to be dealing with some good pitching. But they are sitting there, half game up on the Cubs right now, even after losing those 2. That was a big win for the Cardinals last night to gain some ground there, as they've fallen a little bit behind as well. Kind of the same. They're in the same boat right now. Look at the AL West. The NL Central and the NL East are almost identical. As you have the Cubs are half game back of the Brewers at 42 and 29. Both the first place teams in both the West, the Central and the East have the same record, and the third place team has the same record. The Cubs are a little better off than the Nationals, but it's pretty interesting to see the Phillies and the Cardinals are kind of in the same position. I think both those teams are. That's going to be a 3-team race. Both those divisions are going to be 3-team races till the end, I think, because the Phillies, I mean, they're not going away. The Braves aren't going away, that's for sure, as they're got a youthful team that's not going to have any signs of slowing down at all. Maybe even the Nationals could fall off a little bit. I could see that happening if I was to pick a team. And the Cardinals, I really like the Cardinals. If they get healthy, their rotation gets healthy, they can be pretty dynamite as well. So that NL Central race will be really, really interesting to look at as well. All right, we'll take a break quickly. We'll come back and do some talk on the Indians, as they had a rough series in Minnesota over the weekend, but they still lead that that AL Central, which is kind of the, I don't know, Tigers are 2.5 back. Tigers got to give Detroit, they're 36 and 37. You got to give them credit, as they found their way back into a conversation, won 7 of the last 10. So we'll do that. I'll talk when we come back before we preview a few games for the week coming up. Stay tuned.
Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
Welcome back, GSMC Baseball Podcast. Final segment of the day today here. I do want to talk a little bit about the Indians and how they're in the AL Central, so they don't really have much to worry about. The Tigers are actually on their heels a little bit here. Only 2.5 back, which is kind of surprising. Twins 5 back. But when you have trouble beating the Twins over the weekend in Minnesota, you're going to have issues. And Carlos Carrasco going on the DL is not going to help whatsoever. You need to get Lindor going. You need to get Brantley going. Obviously, Kluber taking the loss. You can't. I mean, they almost look like you can't afford to lose a Corey Kluber start. I don't think they're. Fortunately, they're in a division where they don't really have to be super afraid of giving up any ground, or giving up first place anytime sooner. If they do for a second, they'll come back and have a strong second half. But I don't know what the deal is here. Their bullpen is okay. It's not the best. Their rotation's great. Their lineup should be great, but they're kind of putzing along here a little bit throughout the season instead of reeling off some wins. They were hot a little bit for the last week and a half, but they did have, like I said, the rough go of it in Minnesota. They did get the win of they did win the last game though of that series. It's going to come down to the youth. I think it's going to come down to Clevenger. If he can stay consistent, it's going to come down to Trevor Bauer. Obviously, they have to deal with Carrasco and a little bit of it. I think it's an elbow for him. So whether they're going to have guys like Plutko come up and do some more starts out of the rotation instead of in the spot start scenario, if they have some more young guys they can think about bringing up throughout the season. So, it's going to be up to them. See how aggressive Terry Francona wants to be with his young players. But I think the bats are really going to take them. If they get hot, if Kipnis can get hot, if Brantley can get hot, if Encarnacion can get hot, and basically, I'm naming out so many guys. Lindor, Gomes, all these different guys can get hot at any point, and they can all of a sudden just reel off a bunch of wins and score a bunch of runs. But I just don't think this team right now is going to be the team like 2016. It might be closer to last year where they're going to fall off and lose in the playoffs, but we're a long way off from that. The Carrasco injury is not helpful at all, but I think that they'll be fine there. That lineup is just too potent to stay quiet for so long, and they'll definitely starting to get going. I think Lindor is the big key to all of that. All right, let's preview the games for Monday and Tuesday. Short slate on Monday. The cool part is, back to the Yankees and Nationals are going to be starting a game with the score already at 3-3. Is they're going to be restarting a game that was suspended way back, I think a month and a half ago at least. They're going to be starting in the top of the 6th inning, as they were not able to get an official game. Well, they actually, 5 innings is an official game, but it was tied 3-3, so they couldn't call it, obviously, as they'll finish that one off before they do play again. They did get another full game rained out. It'll be Sonny Gray going for the Yankees against Fedde for the Nationals in his second start now. I don't know what they're going to be doing for the Nationals for the first game as far as who's going to be starting off there, but we'll get to do that when we can. We'll talk about that probably on Wednesday, especially. All right, Giants and Marlins get a series started in San Francisco. Giants finally back from that long road trip. It'll be Caleb Smith against Andrew Suarez, a pair of lefties out there by the Bay. In Pittsburgh, it'll be a NL Central Division tilt. Brewers and Milwaukee Brewers and Pittsburgh Pirates. Ulysses Chassin going for the Brewers against Williams for the Pirates. Trevor Williams, as he's 5-4 with a 4.38 ERA against Chassin, has been very good this season. He's 6-1 with a 3.23 ERA on the year. Cardinals and Phillies, Miles Mikolas against Nick Pivetta for the Phillies. This is a cool little series going on through the weekdays. Mikolas is 7-2 with a 2.43 ERA against Pivetta, who's 4-6 with a 4.25 ERA. In Cleveland, the Indians, hopefully this is where they need to get some wins right here. They have a series against the White Sox. I would expect a sweep here. It'll be Trevor Bauer hosting for the Twins as they invite in the Southsiders, and Dylan Covey will be going for the White Sox. He's 3-1 with a 2.29 ERA. He's been very good this season, but Trevor Bauer has been good too. He hasn't got the run support. Look at his ERA compared to his record. He's 5-5 with a 2.69 ERA on the season. Cubs and Dodgers get a series started in Chicago. Kenta Maeda against Tyler Chatwood. Maeda's 4-4 in the year with a 3.61 ERA. Chatwood 3-5 with a 4.12 ERA. Both need to get back on track. Kind of been up and down all season for both those guys. Rays and Astros. It'll be Garrett Cole for the Astros. He's been excellent on his way to the All-Star game. Could even be an American League starter. Maybe his teammate Verlander. Could be. It'll be his 8-1 with a 2.40 ERA on the season against. He'll be going against Stanek for the Rays. And that's Ryan Stanek, as he's 1-1 with a 2.55 ERA. We'll see how many innings he goes. Royals and Rangers in Kansas City will be Bartolo Colon against Ian Kennedy. Mets and Rockies from Colorado, Jacob deGrom against Tyler Anderson. deGrom is 4-2 with a 1.55 ERA. Been very good this season. A lot of trade rumors about him, obviously, coming down the pike here eventually as we get closer to that time of the year. Anderson is 4-1 with a 4.48 ERA on the season for Colorado. And then a pretty cool interleague series this week as well in Anaheim. It'll be the Diamondbacks visiting the Angels. Zach Greinke against Jaime Badia. Greinke's 5-5 with a 3.86 ERA against Badia, 5-2 with a 2.61. He's been very good in his rookie season. All right, and on Tuesday, a full slate. Marlins and Giants again. Dan Straley against the rookie Derek Rodriguez. Remember, that's Pudge Rodriguez's son, actually, is going. He's 1-1 with a 4.34 ERA on the year. Straley 2-2 with a 4.23 ERA. Orioles and Nationals, the Beltway series, will get started on Tuesday in Washington. The Nationals have yet to announce a starter, as they are still looking to see who is going to be the guy. Obviously, have a doubleheader. Well, kind of a game and a half today. As that the game is going to be in D.C. as well, but they have to deal with the missing Steven Strasburg. He's on the DL right now to find out who's going to spot start for him. It'll be for the Orioles, a right-hander, David Hess. He's 2-3 with a 4.13 ERA on the year for Baltimore. In Pittsburgh again, it'll be Peralta against Jemison Tyone. Willie Peralta is 1-0 with a 3.72 ERA. He's coming off the DL for the Brewers, making I think just his second or third start on the year. Only his third start of the year for the Brewers. That's Freddie Peralta, not Willie. They used to have a guy, Willie Peralta. Now it's Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. Jemison Tyone is 4-5 with a 3.94 ERA on the year for the Pirates. He's pretty good. For this Mariners-Yankees series, another good one going starting on Tuesday. Seattle going to New York. It'll be Miguel Gonzalez for the Mariners-Yankees again, just like the National stuff. This weird little day they had to deal with the rain out. Obviously, the half game today that's going to be happening in D.C., but they'll pick up a series against the Mariners starting tomorrow. They do not have a starter announced yet. In Philadelphia, the Cardinals and the Phillies will get a series started. Luke Weaver against Vince Velasquez, as this will be a good one from Philly, as the Cardinals look to get some more wins. They've got teams with identical records at 37 and 32. I mean, this will be a good matchup to watch. We'll be highlighting it a lot on Wednesday, especially. Weaver is 3-6 with a 4.52 ERA against Velasquez, 5-7 with a 4.74 ERA on the season. Braves, the Blue Jays going. Michael Soroka going again for the Braves. He's 2-1 with a 2.57 ERA on his rookie campaign. The 20-year-old has been excellent this season against Jaime Garcia, who's 2-5 with a 5.71 ERA on the year for the Blue Jays in his first year there. That'll be north of the border, another interleague series. It'll be an interesting one there in Toronto. White Sox and Indians. It'll be Carlos Rodon going for the White Sox as he's 0-1 with a 3.60 ERA. He's made only a couple starts. He'll be going against Steve Clevenger for the Indians. He's 5-2 with a 3.15 ERA on the season for that's Mike Clevenger. I don't keep saying Steve Clevenger. That's a catcher for the Cubs. I mean, I don't know why I keep saying that, but Mike Clevenger, he's 5-2 with a 3.15 ERA. Tigers and Reds, another interleague series going. This one in Cincinnati. Matthew Boyd against Romano for the Reds in this game, in this first game on Tuesday. Boyd is 4-4 with a 3.23 ERA on the season against Romano, 3-7 with a 5.67 ERA on the year for the Reds. Cubs and Dodgers get a series start going, continuing in Chicago as game 2 of this one will be Rich Hill against Mike Montgomery. Hill, having stints in the DL, finally coming back. He's 1-2 with a 6.20 ERA on the season for the Dodgers. Montgomery 2-2 with a 3.31 ERA on the year for the Cubs. Red Sox going to Minneapolis to play the Twins. Chris Sale will go for the Red Sox. He's 6-4 with a 2.75 ERA on the year. He's been very good for Boston as he'll face Jose Barrios, who is in 7-6 with a 3.51 ERA. He's trying to become the ace of that staff out there in Minnesota. Rays and Astros will be Blake Snell, pretty much the only guy that seems to be the actual starter, a real starter for the Rays. But they will be going against the Astros. Will be Snell against Justin Verlander. Actually, a very good, cool little pitching matchup here. Snell's been excellent. He's 8-4 with a 2.58 ERA. He's been very good in the year, tough to hit. So Verlander will go for the Astros. Talk about tough to hit. He's 9-2 with a 1.61 ERA on the year. Very good. He'll be going to DC next month as well. Rangers and Royals from Kansas City going again. Cole Hamels against Jason Hamill. We just did. I think we had one of these a couple weeks ago. Hamels versus Hamill in Kansas City. Hamels, the lefty, is 3-6 with a 3.69 ERA on the season against Jason Hamill, the righty, who is 2-7 with a 4.89 ERA on the year. Mets and Rockies. From Colorado, it'll be Jason Vargas against Jermaine Marquez, as Vargas is 2-5 with a 7.39 ERA on the year. Needs to get that one down a little bit to be competitive there. And then Marquez 4-7 with a 5.13 ERA on the year. D-backs and Angels get a series started. Interleague, we have a bunch of interleague stuff for this week. It'll be Matt Cook. The Angels do not have a starter to announce yet for just tomorrow's game. They have Jaime Bardia today. But it'll be Matt Cook tomorrow against a starter to be determined for the Angels. We'll go over that game on Wednesday for sure to let you know who was the starter there. And then in San Diego, it'll be the A's and the Padres. It'll be, I think it's Lauer against the A's. So it'll be Eric Lauer for the Padres as they are going to be hosting the A's. I mean, I don't know the last time these two teams played each other, against Paul Blackburn for the A's. As he is 1-1 with the 11. He got roughed up in his last start. He got pretty bounced around. That's what the ERA has really ballooned up to 11.05 on the year. Eric Lauer's 3-4, the lefty, with a 6.20 ERA on the season. All right, that was it for Tuesday. As we'll be back on Wednesday to recap those games that we just went over. We had a big week in baseball this past weekend. Lots of good series. We had a bunch of interleague series to go over on Wednesday that I'm excited about for this week. Obviously, I mean, D-backs, Angels is a big one. Even A's, Padres is a fun one to talk about. What was the other one? Tigers, Reds is not that much. But Blue Jays and Braves, that'll be a fun one to talk about as well. Orioles, Nationals, 5 interleague series going on this week. As all around baseball, we'll have some American Leaguers playing in National League parks and some National Leaguers playing in American League parks, seeing some DHs, seeing some pitchers hit as well. Not everybody's a fan of that. I've already seen Masahiro Tanaka have both hamstrings pulled after having to run the bases at Citi Field, but it's part of the game. I mean, I'm sorry, it is part of the game. You got pitchers going all over the place. I mean, yeah, if you really don't want to hit, you can stay in the American League your whole life if you're a pitcher, but I'm sorry, I'm a National League guy. I'm a classic baseball guy. I like when the pitchers hit. It's part of the game. It's part of moving runners over, bunting. Then it's an advantage if you can get a guy like Bumgarner or even Scherzer or Alex Wood or Jake Arrieta who can hit well as a pitcher and maybe can get you a long ball here and there. So it's pretty cool. And also tests the managers and really gets your baseball knowledge going based off of, okay, pinch hit here, let the starter hit there. Okay, is he going to keep going? Okay, no, we're going to pull him after 4 innings, even if he's pitching well, because there's a big chance to score runs. In the American League, not to take away from some of the managers in the American League, there's been great managers in the American League, but I think I've said it before and I'll say it again. I could probably manage the Yankees. No offense, but I probably could. Maybe the injuries would be a little bit annoying to deal with, probably with like the spot starters and such. But yeah, they don't make very many roster changes or moves. I mean, look at an American League box score versus the National League box score. There's not much. There's not much going on in that American League box score. The National League box score can get messy quickly. I mean, one double switch and it's all over. But in the American League, you just have the DH and it's like doesn't matter. Don't worry about pinch hitting, nothing. In the American League. All right, that'll wrap it up for the show today. We'll be back on Wednesday. Everybody have a good start to your week. Enjoy some baseball. We've got some good games going on today and tomorrow. Like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday, and we'll talk to you then. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.